A lot of information is featured in the description box. If you do not find your answer there, please feel free to comment. All right, welcome to part 3 of this series of videos. If you watched part 2 of my experience with menopause, you know that I had to end. I was supposed to do 12. No, I think it's 13 to 23 or something. And I had to stop at 22 because some of the symptoms between 13 and 23 were, I guess, filled with examples and kind of intertwined and everything. So this video coming up starts at symptom number 22, and we move on to, hopefully I can get to symptom 34, but we'll see. I know there are a few in there that I haven't experienced, but like I've said, I've spoken to other women who have experienced those symptoms, so maybe I can explain a little bit. But anyway, this is part 3 of a series of 5 videos. If you haven't seen the other one, go check. Maybe I should put, I haven't thought of that, but maybe I'll just put the links to the two previous videos and the two that follow. So this is part 3. Again, I know I repeat myself, but this is part 3. And in part 3, I will try to complete symptom. I'll try to go from symptom 22 to symptom 34. So I'm crossing my fingers that it works, because I'd like after that to move on to part 4, which is part 4 is really all the symptoms that I've experienced and how I deal with them. All right, so on that note, I will let you go. So stay tuned. Part 3 is coming up. All right, so we start here at symptom 22 of this list, which is thinning hair. Personally, I have not experienced that. I have, I guess, that because I have, as you could see in the intro, I have, I guess, long hair. It's considered long hair. I've had in my life, I've had longer hair. There was a time when my hair was so long that it went all the way down to my bum. So what I call now is, what I have is what I call medium length, but apparently everybody else calls that long hair. So let's call it long hair. So considering that I have what we call long hair, my hair has not thinned out. I can say if I compare my regular hair loss, if you will, with the hair loss that I experienced after I gave birth to my daughter, I can honestly say that I saw like a major difference when after I gave birth to my daughter. My hormones, like the hormonal level changed, and at that time I saw chunks of my hair come out, and I could see at that time I had bangs, and my bangs almost all disappeared. And because I have thin but thick hair, it didn't show that much for the rest of my hair, but I can definitely say that my bangs had thinned out. So since, with my experience with perimenopause and so far my experience with menopause, I cannot say that I've experienced thinning of hair. I haven't like really experienced big hair loss. I have regular hair loss considering I have long hair. But I know of some women that I've spoken to who, my understanding is the thinning of hair could be connected with medication, like having taken medication before, that medication before that would have regulated hormones, or I can't say the consumption, but the taking of medication, like taking of hormonal therapy. Is it true? Is it not true? I don't know. Like I said, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a biochemist either. I'm not a pharmacist either. So I can't really say whether it's connected or not. It is just the experience that some women have shared with me, their belief in what could contribute to their hair loss or the thinning of their hair. But personally, since my perimenopause, since menopause has started, I haven't experienced that one. The next one is brittle nails. Now this one, yes, this one I experienced it before perimenopause. I couldn't grow long nails because it drove me nuts. I'm a very practical person, so if I cook, and I tend to cook a lot, I like to make breads and I put my hands in the food. So I before perimenopause, I never really liked to have long nails. So before perimenopause, I didn't have the experience of nails that broke for no reason, or nails that would chip or whatnot. And if and when, which didn't happen very often, but when I put nail polish on my nails, usually the nail polish, if I had the kind of manicure that I took the time to do, like basically put a base coat, then put the color, then put a top coat, my nail polish would last about a week, and I would have to redo it because my nails had grown and it didn't look good anymore. So, but I can't say that not that I wasn't passionate. I was kind of not passionate necessarily of nail polish. I thought it looked good, but it took a lot of my time. So I tended to put like either natural nail polish or transparent, see-through, like crystal clear nail polish, to just to have a coat on. But I wasn't really in the habit of taking a lot of time to like do the whole manicure experience, the whole manicure thing. And I wasn't the type either to go to the beautician to have my nails done. That wasn't my style. So I didn't really engage in that type of routine or that type of thing. So when perimenopause hit, sometimes I would have nail polish, but again, my nails were not long. The only thing is, with my nails not being long, I had never had any difficulties with my nails breaking, or something like a part of my nails chipping. I never had that, to be honest. So when perimenopause started, my nails began to split. They began to break, and they're not very long. Like I could show you in a picture, but my nails are, to begin with, they're not very long because, and when I say not very long, is I cut them at the tip of my finger. So maybe there's about a millimeter of nail, but that's about it. And that's about as long as I've always kept them. So with or without nail polish, my nails tended to break. They tended to chip. And sometimes, like, I would be in the bath, they would get softer. And when I would put the towel on me and sponge myself off, or wipe myself off with the towel, my nail could get caught in a fiber of the towel and chip, and it could just split. And so this is what happened during perimenopause. When I became officially menopausal, it became even worse. And I would say, I'm recording this in March 2022.
And I would say in the past 6 months, I have not just had, I've not just noticed that my nails were dry or that my nails broke or they chipped or they split. I noticed that when I pressed on my fingertips, I noticed that
basically my fingertip would hurt. And I began to feel that with every finger. Like progressively, I began to feel that with every finger. And to the point that I didn't begin to worry, but I began to think that's like there must be something wrong. And I would say this week, basically a few days before I record this, I decided to record this video. I noticed that 3 of my nails had white spots. So again, from this description, I looked at the fact that maybe my body was missing keratin, because that's what we see in the description. So I did some research to find out like what's the benefit of keratin. And as much as it says that there's not enough keratin, I found that keratin worked. The keratin worked with that it had other benefits. So I sort of redirected my search to find out what kind of supplement I could take for my nails. And I came across some other information that helped me go towards the correct supplement to take. And that I'm going to talk about this in the next video. So for now, I'm just going to move to weight gain. Now, weight gain is another one that I've experienced. And this one, I actually experienced it from the beginning of perimenopause, but it became even more so of an issue, to be honest, because before perimenopause or before menopause, I was very active. I'm still very active, but I was very active and kind of athletic. I liked to do sports during the summer. I'm an avid swimmer. I'm an avid biker. And the first summer of perimenopause, I found myself gaining about 5 pounds. You'll say, well, 5 pounds is no big deal. No, it's no big deal. The only thing is because I didn't move as much. And then I guess the big chunk of weight that I got was the second summer that I was in perimenopause. That's the same summer that I had my inflamed sciatica, or my inflamed sciatica, and I couldn't move. Like I remember that the month of July, that summer is a total blur to me. I don't remember much. I know that I spent a great part of July on my back, like basically lying down all day long. And I remember that I slept a lot on the couch because I couldn't get out. I couldn't get off from the couch. The only things that I was able to do were to go to the bathroom. And I had so much trouble taking a shower that I had to put a lawn chair. I had to put a plastic chair, like a patio chair, in my bath to be able to sit on the chair and wash my hair and wash my body because I could not stand. So from that experience, having spent a lot of time on the couch, like lying down, not doing much, obviously, and not being able to cook, which is something I absolutely loved to do, but I couldn't really cook. So not being able to cook, not being able to make healthy foods, I ate a lot of foods. Like I remember I ate a lot of chips, a lot of chocolates, a lot of cakes, like really ready-made, ready-to-eat foods. And that really made a big issue with it brought on a big issue with my weight. because I was used to before perimenopause, I could eat anything, and I was so active that I burned it. I burnt the calories as I ate it. But during that summer, I gained. I went from 120, and mind you, I'm 5'7", so I went from 120 to 130. I gained 10 pounds in about 3 weeks. After that, because I noticed that I gained a lot of weight, I became a little self-conscious. And on top of it, there's a whole thing with menopause. And I don't know if it's the same for everybody, but in my case, that was the case. Psychologically, with menopause, if you are slightly maternal, even though you know that you're too old to have children, or that if you were to become pregnant, then it could be at risk. And if you were to give birth, then you would have you would be raising your child until you were 65, or you would be raising your child until you were 70. And it's, so but psychologically, there's something that happened to me anyway. I don't know if that happens to everybody, every woman out there, but what happened to me was that I felt like I was useless. Like I would be useless in a sense that I don't have that ability anymore to bear children. So I felt like I was becoming useless. So having that kind of self-consciousness of, okay, I gained 15 pounds because before perimenopause, I was 115, which wasn't so bad. I mean, I was healthy. And so after having gained over the year and a half, 15 pounds and being 130, I felt self-conscious, not because I felt fat, but just because I felt like I wasn't healthy anymore. I wasn't as healthy as I used to be. If I went on a bike ride, I had trouble, climbing the hills. And so it was very hard for me to deal with. And so from that, I was very self-conscious with my health. I was self-conscious, obviously, with becoming useless. And so putting those two together, I kept the routine of eating, but the routine that I had before perimenopause. And obviously, we were in pandemic mode. So there weren't many sports that I liked that I could do. I mean, we could go for a walk, we could go biking, but in the winter in Canada, going for a walk is fine, but going biking is a bit difficult. So with all that, I found myself reaching 140 pounds by December 2021. And so December 2021, I was a little bit more than halfway through my first year of menopause before becoming officially menopausal. And so at 140, I was like, okay, no, I've got to do something now. This is ridiculous. And so I began to watch my diet a little bit more, which I'm going to talk even more in part 4 of these videos. So yes, weight gain, it does happen. And there's a lot of, in my case, there's a lot of water retention, but also I have to be very careful with sugars, because there's a history in my family of diabetes. I'm not saying that I have diabetes, but I think that refined sugars can be a factor in my weight gain. So I have to be relatively careful with that. There's a need to drink a lot. And I would say the past 3 years, I've increased my intake of water, but also I've started drinking green teas and black teas. So this helps a lot. So that's it for weight gain, but this is something that I've heard a lot of women say, just like hot flashes. I've heard a lot of women say that weight gain is definitely a symptom that they have experienced. The next one, stress incontinence. I would say I have experienced I guess, urine leakage. But I would say the only times that I experience that is when I go to the bathroom, and I don't know if this is going to sound weird or go like, what? It's when I go to the bathroom, or when I've gone to the bathroom and I don't take the time to empty my bladder. So if I don't empty, what it means emptying your bladder is you go to the bathroom and you let the urine out, but all the way to the end, as in even you can feel it when you squeeze your muscles, your abdomen muscles, that it's all out. So I've had to, a bit like when I was pregnant, it was the same thing. I remember towards the end, my daughter's head pressed against my bladder, and sometimes I had to, from outside my belly, I had to lift her head in order to be able to empty my bladder. So it's a bit kind of the same thing. It's like, obviously I don't have anything pressing against it, but it's just kind of compressing my muscles, my abdomen muscles, to make sure that my bladder is empty. So when I don't do that, which sometimes in the middle of the night, so I would say the leakage that I experience is really much more in the middle of the night than during the day. So that's as far as I am. Stress incontinence, I haven't really, if we take incontinence in terms of number twos, I haven't experienced anything like that would say it's incontinence. So it's really with urination, but it's when, and especially in the middle of the night when I don't take the time to empty my bladder. All right, so the next one, trying to go on your cells, I had that during premenopause. I've had that during menopause so far. And the dizzy spells have mainly come along when I have a very intense hot flash, that is combined with what we saw before, or maybe we're going to see it soon. Very intense hot flash with obviously the sweats, but intense hot flash with irregular heartbeat. That's usually, and when I have trouble breathing, that's usually when I have dizzy spells. So I can tell you that when those began, which was, I would say, maybe a year into my perimenopause, when those began, I was a little alarmed, because sometimes I would be upright, I would be standing up, and I would have that dizzy spell, but I thought that I was dizzy altogether. And I thought, at that point, I thought that I might have a labyrinthitis or something, but no, it was just a dizzy spell. And progressively, as that symptom occurred with, I noticed that it occurred when I had a very intense hot flash, usually combined with an irregular heartbeat and having trouble breathing. So that's usually when it happens. Now, they say here that it has a connection with insulin production or blood sugar stability. In my case, I don't know. I don't know if it has to do with that, or because it's always been connected with very intense, well, it's always been since the beginning, it's been connected with intense hot flashes, irregular heartbeat, and having trouble breathing. So it's really when it has happened. And what I noticed is it happens at the same time as the three others. So that's about it. And I have had, when I go to the bathroom and I have to push hard for number two, I don't get dizzy spells after that, which would be a drop, which would be a connection with a drop in blood sugar. But after having gone to the bathroom for number two, I would get really, really tired. So that, I know from having done a bit of research, that is connected with a drop in blood sugar. The dizzy spells, like I said, it's really, it's all, in my experience, it's been connected with hot flashes, and this all has to do with the body not producing estrogen anymore. Next one, allergies. I have not experienced any allergies that I know of. And I imagine that if I had allergies, I would know. So I have not experienced any allergies that I know of. If ever you think that maybe you have allergies due to menopause, then I guess I would say read the description here. If it doesn't make any sense to you, it's probably not that. And if it does make sense to you, I say when it comes to allergies, I didn't have allergies before menopause. I don't think I do now. But I would say, if you believe maybe that you have allergies, then I would check in with the doctor for that one for sure, because some allergies can be quite lethal. For the next one, osteoporosis. This is loss of bone density. I can't say that I have that. I can't say that I've experienced that. Maybe I'm too young. I don't know. I'm 50, so maybe I'm too young to experience that. Maybe it's going to come along later on. I don't know, but I don't think I have osteoporosis. I don't think I have it. Because I haven't experienced anything that would make me believe that I do it. But hey, stay tuned. Maybe I'll come back at a later date with a little update to say, well, everybody, I think I have it now. I don't know. It sounds like a big disease, but I don't think I have it now. It's like I don't feel like my bones could break easily. Maybe because I take calcium. I don't know. So I'll keep you posted if ever this comes up, and if ever I've experienced something that that could contribute to osteoporosis. The next one, irregular heartbeat. I've already talked about this. It's connected. In my case, it's connected directly with hot flashes. Sometimes with night sweats. I'll wake up in the middle of the night, but I've explained all this. Sometimes when it comes during the day, it comes with hot flashes, and often the irregular heartbeat will be also connected with the fact that I have trouble breathing, the dizziness. So it's all interconnected. Those four ones: irregular heartbeat, dizziness, I guess being breathless, and night sweats or hot flashes. They all happen at the same time. So that's what it is. Now here they say that it's best to discuss a symptom with the doctor. I haven't discussed that with my doctor, but I've promised myself that if ever the irregular heartbeat were to turn into me having chest pains or having other symptoms that seem a little more complicated or a little more dire, then I will. But for the moment, I mean, it happens at the same times as the hot flashes or the night sweats. So it's really an intense one. It's only when I have intense hot flashes or intense night sweats, that's when it happens. Now, body odor. I haven't necessarily experienced that, obviously, because
I would say, like, if you're the type of person who doesn't necessarily bathe or shower every day, or like have regular body hygiene, which is kind of rare for people, but anyway, I would say that considering that we have night sweats, we have hot flashes, we sweat a lot, so we tend to, anybody who has kind of regular hygiene or daily hygiene, we tend to want to at least shower once a day, or at least like wash a little bit, like have a quick wash a little bit every day, because we have night sweats and we have hot flashes. What happens is it feels like every day is a summer day, and it feels like every day is 40 degrees outside with 200% humidity. So you're like sweaty all the time, and I'm guessing maybe body odor would come out of someone who doesn't shower every day or doesn't at least like have a regular hygiene every day. In my case, I take a shower every day, or I wash
myself every day. So I haven't necessarily experienced any kind of body odor. And when it comes to my pajamas or my bed sheets, I wash them, like I change at least every three days or so. So yeah, it's really, in my case, I've never experienced body odor, but I imagine that it might come, it could come with irregular hygiene. Next one, irritability. I've talked about this. It goes well. Irritability, depression, anxiety, panic disorder. Those are the last four. The last four, I mean, not the last the last four. And I think those are also a bit intertwined. I must say, irritability, I've experienced that since the beginning of perimenopause. And it kind of ties in with mood swings that we saw in the first video. It ties in with mood swings. And I would say that it depends on the situation. It depends on your mood. So in my case, the times when I become irritable, and when I think of it, it's really hilarious. The times when I become irritable is often, I will watch videos on YouTube, and let's say I don't know, depending on my mood, I'll watch, let's say, a YouTuber
I'll listen to them talk, and their voice can drive me crazy. The way they talk can drive me crazy. I remember about 6 months ago or so, maybe a little bit more, maybe 8 months ago, I watched a reader online, a tarot reader online, and
every reading that she did, she sang. And it's not that she doesn't have a beautiful voice, but whenever she sang, I couldn't stand it. And I literally, like, I moved on to the next video. I couldn't stand listening to anyone singing. And it's not that they don't have beautiful voices, it's just I couldn't stand anyone singing in any kind of video. So I would move on to the next video. And when I say I couldn't stand anyone singing, I had trouble listening. I had trouble watching some videos where it's actual singers singing their song. And their voice was irritating to me. So it really depends on the mood. And I mean, I avoided watching videos with people singing for about 2 months. Then I gradually came back to it. Some people I was okay listening to their singing, others I couldn't. It's I guess that's what my irritability came in. But it goes with the mood swings. Even in my work, I had that since perimenopause, even in my work, I have had to pay attention to my mood, because as a teacher, and I am naturally very tolerant, very patient. Sometimes people say I'm too tolerant, too patient, but before perimenopause, I never felt the intensity of being irritable. Like I'd never felt that. And since perimenopause, I have to watch my mood sometimes, because I have to watch my mood, and I have to restrain myself from having impulsive reactions to, I don't want to say to get mad at my students, but to be a little bit more prime and a little bit more prompt. So I've had to pay attention to that, because
sometimes, like, I mean, I teach languages, and I think I've explained that before. I've had students, like one day students who would say, how do you say this word in that language? And I would be more than happy to look it up. I would be more than happy to say it. And other days, the same student would ask me the same thing, and I would have to restrain myself, because all I wanted to do was punch. So that's the irritability. And is it related to lack of sleep? I have no trouble believing that, because the nights that you don't get sleep well, then you're more irritable. But anyways, that's irritability. It's connected to mood swings, and it's connected. I'm pretty sure it's connected to sleep patterns, because you become a little more impatient. But I know also with my family, I became a little more impatient, and having a short temper and all that. So, but it's something that when you know, and it's something I'm going to talk about in part 4. It's when you know that, I find anyway, that when you know that it's a symptom of menopause, then it's easier to understand, and it's easier to, I guess, to control to some extent. All right, let me move on to, because we're almost onto
an hour again. Depression and anxiety. I would say these two are interconnected. And in my case, my personal experience, which is the reason that I decided to make videos about it, my personal experience, depression, anxiety, I came to understand I came to understand these two, especially depression. I came to understand it not too long ago, about a week before recording this. I came to understand depression a long time ago, about 17 years ago, which was in 2004, 2007, sorry. In 2007, and we're in 2022. So in 2007, I burnt out at work. I had a major burnout at work, and I was off for about completely off for about a year and a half. And then after that, progressively going back to work for another year and a half. So altogether, I was medicated for a burnout for about 3 years. And after that, I simply came off the medication. But I know because of that experience, I know of the feeling that we get when we are depressed, when we feel like a very low mood, no determination, no motivation, feel tired all the time, feel so I know I knew the feeling of that. And since perimenopause, I had this kind of feeling about every month. And it's only about a week ago that I spent something like I gave a class on the Friday morning, and Friday afternoon after lunch, I was like dead, as if I had spent the entire week up. I had worked crazily, and I hadn't. So from the Friday afternoon to the Monday morning, which is basically the entire weekend, I had no motivation. I had a lot of things to do, but no motivation. I spent the entire weekend either sleeping, eating, watching movies on YouTube. That's pretty much what I did. But every morning that I woke up, Saturday morning, Sunday morning, Monday morning, every morning that I woke up, I didn't like the way I felt. And I thought I was going crazy, and I was a bit overwhelmed with the feelings I had, because I felt like, why am I depressed again? What is this? And I knew that it's something that happens like every 3 weeks or every 4 weeks or something, about every month. And I knew this wasn't going to be permanent. I knew this wasn't something that I was going to go through for the next year and a half or so. I knew that, but I still didn't feel good. And it's only Monday morning I had a discussion with somebody who, just before my classes, I had a discussion with somebody who is also going through menopause. And when I explained what I had felt all weekend, she told me, she said, oh, yeah, I know what that is. That's menopausal depression. And I went, what? So I came right on this, on the website again. I checked if depression was part of, and obviously it is part of it. So I looked at the description of depression, and mind you, that was last Monday, and it's Friday today. The day that I'm recording this is Friday, so it's about a week ago. And when I read the description of depression, of menopausal depression, it rang a bell in my mind. I was like, okay, so I'm not going crazy. I'm just a little menopause. It's just depression from menopause. The anxiety was also part of it. While I had lack of motivation, and I didn't want to do anything, and felt tired all the time, and felt sluggish and everything, at the same time, I was freaking out a little bit, because, oh my gosh, is this going to happen? Like, is this ever going to end? Am I stuck? And every time that I feel that depression, that menopausal depression, I feel like it's never going to end. It lasts 3 or 4 days, but I always feel like it's never going to end. And because it feels like it's never going to end, and am I going to be able to have a normal life at some point in this lifetime? This is the anxiety. This is the anxiety. And so because I wondered, like, am I going to be okay? Am I going to be okay to get back to work on Monday? This is the anxiety. And it's sort of, the anxiety feeds into the depression, and then the depression feeds into the anxiety and all that. So that's why I say that it ties in depression, anxiety, and I would say panic disorder also does it. Do I think that I felt panicky? Not as much, but I would say definitely the anxiety fed into the depression fed into the anxiety, and it was kind of a vicious circle for the weekend. But that was it. So when I came to read about the depression and menopausal anxiety, it was like a huge weight had been lifted off my shoulders. And now that I know this information, then the next time that I feel a bit down in the dumps, I will know that this is just hormonal. It has nothing to do with me being overworked. It has nothing to do with me. I haven't done anything wrong. It's just that all of a sudden I felt that menopausal anxiety, that menopausal depression, and it doesn't last forever, because I know personally, I know that this kind of a phase that lasts maybe 3 or 4 days, and then after that I'm back to normal. And I can cook, I can do my daily activities. So it's not something like the burnout I had in 2007 that lasted more or less 3 years. So that is depression and anxiety. Now in part 4, I will explain to you what I did to get over it, and how maybe, I don't know yet, but how it is that I'm trying to, I guess in a sense, chemically control it, but we'll talk about it in part 4. And so to finish off with panic disorder, like I said, I don't think that I experienced panic disorder, that I've experienced it. I don't think I have experienced it. I know there's a big difference between having anxiety and having panic attacks. I do know that there's a difference between the two. There are people, the reason I say I don't believe I've had it is because I know of people who do have panic attacks, who do have real panic disorder, and it is not fun. It really isn't fun. With panic attacks, it literally paralyzes those people. So that's why I say I don't believe that I've had it. If ever anybody watches this video and says, well, maybe the description that is on the website is not quite accurate, because here is my experience with panic disorder during menopause, and this is what I've been through, and if you have examples and stuff. So it could be something, I mean, you can even leave it in the comments below. It could be something that you've been through and that describes it better than the medical description that we have there. But like I said, I don't believe that I've experienced panic disorder. If ever I do, I hope to have enough courage to let you know and give you an update on this. All right, so these are in 3 videos. I never thought that I would go through 3. I would have to record 3 videos, but these are all the 34 symptoms that I found with menopause, some of which I have experienced, some of which I don't believe I have, and some of which I know I haven't yet. But I like that when I start menopause, I became officially menopausal about a month ago. So from what I understand, from what what my doctor said and some pharmacists and some research, apparently menopause lasts for about 5 years. Does that include the year where you wonder if you're officially menopausal or not? I don't know. But some women have told me that their menopause lasted more than 5 years, and some others believed that it lasted about 5 years. So I guess I'll be able to do, if I'm still around, maybe I can give you an update in 5 years to let you know if it seems to have disappeared or if it's going to linger on until I'm 90. So thank you for being with me during part 1, part 2, and part 3. I am moving on to recording part 4, which should appear shortly after. Hopefully, I can do it today. I can upload everything today, but you should be able to watch part 4. And like I said, part 4, I will go over the symptoms of menopause that I know I have experienced, and how they came about, so how the symptoms have come about, and what it is that I did, because some of the symptoms were harder to adjust to than others, and that's basically what I'm going to talk about. And some of the research also that I did when I've had symptoms, to try and either control those symptoms or to try to attenuate them. So that's it. So stay tuned for part 4, which is coming up. It should be coming up shortly after part 3. A little reminder, like, share, subscribe, hit the bell to expand the audience for others who might be interested in this content. And on that note, I will see you next time.